Welcome back to the Slasher Siblings podcast. I'm your host Hayden,
And I'm your co-host Cicely.
and this week we are doing Insidious. It's made in 2010, PG-13, hour and 43 minutes, and it got a 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's too low.
Seems low, yeah.
Wait, you're telling me Rubber got 5.4?
And then Insidious got 6.8, yeah.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense.
For the people that don't know what it's about, a family looks to prevent evil spirits from trapping their comatose child in a realm called the Further. That's basically the gist of it. It was a short one. Before we get into it, I'm going to read the question from last week. What 2016 M. Night Shyamalan film is about a kidnapper with 23 different personalities who's about to unleash the 24th?
The answer is Split.
We will read the next question at the end.
Later.
And if you didn't Google it, good job.
Congratulations, but if you Googled it,
We know who you are.
we know who you are.
Do you want to say anything before we...
Insidious?
Yeah.
It's always been one of my favorite movies. Listen, to this day, I've seen it so many times, and it still scares me. Like, the one very specific scene that we're going to talk about scares the shit out of me. And it always has, and it always will.
That sounds about right. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, I wanted to say that the opening shot of the shadow to the ghost face was like instantly, it was like the first thing you saw was basically the ghost face. It was like zooming into it. Like, that was such a weird... It's definitely a shot that the like Conjuring universe
Yeah.
uses. Zooms into the like nun's face, and that's a very good way to amp up the level of creepiness.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what it's gonna be like. It seems like they do a pretty good job. I think it's sort of the same team that made Conjuring.
Well, isn't the lady who follows him around the nun?
I don't know.
Did you see what she looked like?
Yeah, well, no, because that was from his childhood. The lady, it was like a black wedding dress.
Okay, maybe I just thought they looked really similar.
They do kind of
They
look
do.
similar. The unpacking scene shows that they don't really know what's going on yet,
Yeah.
but we do.
Yeah.
We can see, like, she was putting the books on the shelf and whatnot, and it was on the floor, and it's kind of showing, like, it's already going
Yeah.
on.
They're oblivious to it at this point.
I mean, you move into a new house, you kind of don't really expect it to be haunted or anything like that.
You would
but
hope not, yeah.
it was showing that it was already starting. And they barely even did anything
I
yet.
know.
And then she was talking to her son, and he goes, "Oh, you're old now." She's what? She's what? 30-ish?
Yeah. He said, what, you're 21? It's like,
That's old.
okay.
All right, you're.
Thanks,
I
old
think
dude.
he was. What was he? 11 or something.
Something like that.
That's barely older than you. Like the
Me?
the
Me?
kid.
Oh, I was like, me.
Saying it's 21. That's only 10 years
Yeah,
earlier,
Yeah.
or older, whatever.
He's an idiot. Okay.
And oh yeah, I have it written down. Books on the floor shows that it's like starting already. It was a very quick start to, the haunting. It wasn't really a quick start to the haunting, but it was like showing you right away that it's already prevalent in the house. Like, it's not like they
It's not a
did
secret,
anything,
Yeah.
or it's a secret or anything like that. It's like it's already been happening. And it makes you wonder, thinking about later in the movie, it makes you wonder if, like, it's always been happening. It's just hasn't been bad until they came to this house because there were so many other spirits around or something. Or he was getting really good at astral projection and stuff like that. We'll get to that later. Attics are usually a bad idea to go in alone.
Always.
When you move into a new house, it's almost always a bad idea to go into the attic by yourself.
If there's one thing about me, it's I'm gonna explore an attic. You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
A basement, I'm not down with that. But an attic, I'll go up in anybody's attic. If somebody looks at me, and this has happened in real life, and they're like, hey, we've never seen the attic because the hole is too small to get up in. I'm like, shove me up there, dog. I'm going.
But like, there's weird noises coming from the attic, the brand new attic that you haven't been in yet. And then the first thing you think, oh, let's go
Let's check it
explore.
out.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go check it out alone. Well, the
For
little
sure.
kid. I mean, it's a kid. He's curious, but or no, it was the mom first, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she went up alone because there were weird noises.
Yeah.
Nah.
Nah.
The weird. It could be a mouse, or it could be something way
Mhm.
worse. You
I
ended
guess
up.
we'll never know.
You ended up finding out that it was something way worse. And, the kid falls off the ladder when he goes up
Yeah.
there himself. And it seems a little crazy to think, oh, he, smacked his head on the floor, now he's seeing ghosts kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really seem the
It
two to
doesn't
connect. So the
correlate.
parents thinking that was kind of weird to me. But obviously, parents needed an explanation why their
Yeah.
son is kind of strange, other than him just being that strange. And it doesn't really show you too much in that scene, though, when he falls off the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that it scares him and he falls off. Of course, he was reaching for the light, but it was very evident that something was there. But it was like behind the scenes almost at this point. And I thought it was funny that they were sitting in bed talking about her music and stuff, and he's just like, why don't you just write a song about me?
Yeah,
And then she was like,
I have.
they're all about you. What do you mean? He's like, no, like about me. Say how cool I am. That was really
Mhm.
funny. I really like him as an actor.
I do too. He does the best. Like they couldn't pick anyone else to play
Yeah,
his
seriously.
roles.
I guess there were a couple people that were like considered, obviously, but like they saw him in Conjuring and were like, he's good.
Yeah.
He is pretty good, so let's just get him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to talk about the scene where Dalton can't wake up. I couldn't imagine walking into your
Yeah.
son's room and, pretending like,
Trying to wake them up for school.
yeah, like he's pretending like he's asleep, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, come on, get up. Time for school. Haha, funny. And you
Mhm.
walk over and he's not waking up.
Yeah,
He's just laying there in a coma.
that scene always stresses me out.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what's going
Yeah.
on. And that can't be a very good
Mm-mm.
feeling.
No.
I also feel like they accurately showed the depression, because the dad's kind of distant
Yeah.
and doesn't want to come home, and then there's the mom who's like ripping her hair out, completely depressed about her son,
Mhm.
who for all they know could really be dead. They're just
Yeah.
keeping him alive with machines.
Yeah,
So
because they don't
it's-
know what's going on.
They don't know what's going on either. So it's kind of like, I think it's a kind of an accurate
Mm-hmm.
depiction of depression. But I also want to mention about the baby monitor.
Yeah.
So yes, it's at least understandable that you thought that she was going a little crazy, because she's just so depressed and sleep deprived and all
Mhm.
this other stuff, that she was just hearing things on the baby monitor. But who just makes up that they heard this woman talking on the baby monitor and then screams into it like that, and then all of a sudden, the baby's
Yeah.
like crying and stuff.
That's the kind of shit I'd believe. Like,
Yeah,
if
that-
somebody said that to me, I'd be like, okay,
all right, I think you're right. Let's
I trust ya.
let's figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was when she was talking to the other son. I also thought it was creepy. She was talking to her son, and then all of a sudden he's just like, "Oh, I don't like when Dalton walks around at night."
Yeah.
Like, what is going
When
on
he
here?
said that, I was like, excuse me?
Yeah. When I first
He does what now?
when I first saw this movie, I was like, okay, so he's possessed. He's not in a coma. He just
Mhm.
the demon or ghost or whatever just wants you to think that he is, so that he can use his body to walk around and do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's that's a terrifying statement to come out of your other son's mouth. And then the break-in where the alarm starts going off and he walks down the stairs and there's literally no one in the house. It's just an open door, screaming alarm, and then a sleeping kid upstairs, another kid, a baby, and a mom in there. And it's just so weird because if I'm sitting in my bedroom and I start hearing my alarm go off and I look downstairs and nobody's around and the door just flips open like 4 or 5 times, I'm gonna start burning the house down or something. Like there's something going on here.
Shots are gonna be fired, huh?
It's just weird that he walks down and there's literally nothing to find.
Yeah.
Like not even like a trace of anything except that your door just keeps flying open.
Yeah.
And you lock it over and over again, so what the hell? And then you can see like a guy's face.
Through the curtain?
Yeah.
That's also, in my opinion, one of the scariest like moments in the whole movie.
Yeah.
When he like you get that shot of his face in the curtain and it's red.
Yeah. And the
That's
door's just wide open.
terrifying.
But you see a random person and your door's wide open. So understandably, you know, the dude's scared. There might be a guy in his house. But like, imagine all of that happening and you find nobody and it happens like 4 times in a row.
Yeah, what do you do then?
What
do
do you think? What do you do? Like you
move out?
You saw no one, you turn off the lights, lock the door, set the alarm, and it does it again.
I'd leave. I think I'd leave and go to your house.
Well, that sounds about right. But like I just can't believe, you know, people don't think to just run away sometimes.
Just sit there and deal with it.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
Now Dalton is not responding to the new tests.
Right.
So now what? Like what other options? I mean, obviously we find out later in the movie what it is, but
Yeah.
like what do you do now? Are you just going to leave him in the bed hooked up to machines for the rest of his life, or are you going to start considering like asking witch doctors and stuff?
Yeah.
You know, like how long does this go before
Yeah.
you start getting weird experiments going? Trying to figure out what is going on with your son.
Was that the scene with the sheets?
Yeah, that
Okay.
was also the handprint on the sheets.
Yeah, imagine if you're like, you know, one day when you have kids, not me, you're like fixing their sheets and you just see a bloody hand. But it's not even like a human hand.
But that wasn't even blood. That was ash.
I thought it was blood.
It's technically ash.
Why?
'Cause that's what I read. But like
Oh, did it not look like blood?
it
To
did.
you?
But like
So whatever it is,
it's
it's still a fucking handprint.
I kind of
That's
think the
not
ash is
yours.
worse though because
Why ash? Why is that worse?
I mean, does a demon really have blood?
But why would a demon have ash?
He's from hell.
Hayden, that handprint was red. Dog,
Yeah,
that was
so
blood.
so is his skin.
I don't think we're on the same page.
Anyway, I read that it was ash. Doesn't matter. Yeah, finding the handprint on the sheets. I think she was rightfully pissed. He was saying like, "Oh, why are you not coming home anymore?" And he's just like, "Oh, I'm dealing it in my way," and she's like, "Deal with this or whatever."
I feel like, yeah, girl boss moment, obviously. But like, your family is at home, like, scared. Go home. You know what I mean?
In his defense, he kept falling asleep.
Like,
I
I get
mean-
it, whatever. But go home. Grandpaper's at home. Like, your wife and your kids are scared.
Like
Go home.
I get it. He wanted to sit there for a little bit longer
Yeah.
to kind of
A
clear his
little
head,
longer, that's fine. 10:30.
and then passes out at his desk.
Uh-uh.
Clearly, there's a problem, considering you're falling asleep at school at your job.
Yeah.
There's probably something going on that you can't sleep, obviously. So
Obviously.
you should maybe want to consider, like I
Fixing
said,
the
some witch
problem.
doctors or
Yeah.
something. Then there's the ghost in the bedroom. She runs up the stairs to grab the baby, And what's the dad's name? Can't remember.
Me either.
But he is asleep on the couch, and she goes into the room, and there's the person behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would do.
Shit.
Start throwing things.
I just start grabbing stuff and throwing it.
Like, who the hell are you, and why are you in my house? Obviously, it was a spirit, but it's still the fact that she was a little bit more calm in a way
Yeah.
than I would have been. Obviously, she was scared to death, but like I would have literally been throwing shit,
Yeah,
trying to tackle it or
squaring up.
something. Yeah,
I did start squaring up.
and then I ended up finding out it was just a spirit. But
Yeah. So there's not much. You can't square up with a spirit, I bet.
and then I don't think so. But then that's when they move out, right?
Yeah.
A second time
Yeah.
they moved from there to another place because
Yep.
there was a dude or they saw a person. But now they're in the new house and they're unpacking and stuff. She goes outside and she sees a little boy
Okay.
dancing to Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
This scene gives me goosebumps.
I know.
This is the scariest fucking scene, and I've seen it so many times. And even when rewatching this movie, I was like, "Oh my god, it's coming up!"
I knew it was coming, and I was still getting chills just thinking about it because it's the ghost boy dancing with the song.
Yes.
The song's already in a way creepy because
The
of
song
the way
is
the guy
so
sings,
creepy.
and then
Do
to
you
have
remember
a
we used
little
to sing that?
yeah,
Yeah, me too.
and then there's just a random kid in your house dancing to it.
And you're outside.
Where did
I
the
would
kid
have
come
jumped, yeeted myself through that window so fast.
Yeah, me too. I would have jumped through the window too. But like, it's just
And he's dressed like super old timey, like
it's just a weird.
it's very weird. And then he like leads her into the bedroom. He's laughing, having a good time,
And
right?
then jumps out at her
And then
from the
jumps
wardrobe.
out at her and is laughing like it's so funny. I was like,
Well,
this
at least
isn't
she
funny.
knows that
this is scary.
At least she knows that the kid wasn't trying to hurt her.
I guess, but damn, imagine seeing that.
No,
No,
I'm good.
I'm also good. Hard pass.
And then there's the mom's dream. Do you remember her dream? She's the dad's mom. I forget her name. Lorraine, right?
Yeah, Lorraine.
She's talking about her dream that, she saw this all happening basically. And this is also before she unveils the big secret to the dad.
Yes.
But she's talking like, "Oh, I knew this was all gonna happen.
I know exactly who to call."
Yeah." And it was just
Bitch.
like, what took you so long?
That's what I'm saying. Like, when
As
I
soon as-
found that out, I was like, "Are you serious?"
As soon as you heard like the first thing happen, because I know that they were telling her,
Yeah.
why didn't you just
Why
like
didn't
say,
you just-
"Hey,
Hey guys.
this is weird, deja vu. We should
Yeah.
call this woman."
Like you should have handled this way
Plus,
sooner.
you're the only one that knows the secret, so you probably should know the signs.
Yeah.
You should have.
Like if you're holding a secret like that,
You should know
you
what's
should
going
know more
on.
about it. Yeah, I was kind of pissed at her too.
And then this is also the scene that gives me chills every time I see it, no matter how many times I see it. The demon's red face just behind his head.
Oh, yeah.
This is always a good scene because it kind of introduces you to the demon's face for the first time. And it also shows it in a creepy way that no matter how many times you see it, it's still
It's always
fucking
going to be creepy.
No matter what. The 5th time, the 50th time, it's almost unexpected. Even
time.
though you
Yeah.
know it's coming.
Yeah.
It's just like, I know it's going to be here, but
I forgot.
did
I was
you?
like, "Oh, shit."
That's the not worst scene for me, but like I guess creepiest scene for me out of the whole movie. And then there's the two women in the hallway. They're like running away from the red-faced demon, and they're running down the hallway, and there's those two women, kind of looks like the Shining twins almost, and they just all of a sudden smile.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like they were a picture, and then, like, the picture changes to have this creepy smile. It's just, like, the way they did the facial...
Yeah, that was real freaky.
That was freaky. And then Elise shows up. You know, it sends the... she sends the two guys to, you know, check out the house and whatnot, but Elise shows up, and it's kind of like... It's not over yet, but they kind of make it seem like Elise is there to fix everything.
Yeah.
And then she's talking to Dalton. She has that mask on her face, and she's like, "Oh, you know, come to my voice and stop. You know, they'll hear you." And then she gets attacked and stuff. Like, that's seeing it from the parents' perspective. That's kind of an awful scene.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting, you don't know anything about any of this, you know, spirit stuff, and then all of a sudden you're talked into a seance.
Yeah, you're sitting around your table in a circle.
And then you see this woman fly across the room after
Yeah.
talking to your son, who's supposedly in a coma.
Yeah.
That's
intense.
terrifying.
It's intense.
It's very intense. Okay, and then there's the scene where Dalton actually finally wakes up, but not Dalton. It's the demon or whatever. And then there's all those ghosts in the room. They're trying to come through the door.
Yeah.
Like,
and when he got up and slammed his hand down on the table.
yeah, and shot everyone
yeah,
everywhere.
that was crazy.
That's a really, really good scene because it shows just how close the demon really is. Obviously, you know, Elise said that already, but
Yeah.
like, it shows how much influence this demon has on this family already. And it's not like he's really been trying all that hard. He's just been scaring the shit out of them. And I guess that's a way of making them stronger, but still. Then there's the secret, finally. Josh did the same thing as Dalton, as in, like, astral projection and stuff like that, and whatever they called it, but
yeah,
you can travel through the further and stuff. Like, how do you keep that secret, Lorraine?
I was wondering the same
I don't know
thing.
how you keep that secret. I mean, I get,
especially
like,
because they don't take pictures of him.
like, he hates getting his... I hate
Yeah.
getting my picture taken too, but like, he
You
hates...
you literally can't take a picture of that guy.
No, like, he would
Like,
freak out.
why wouldn't anybody like tell him?
I don't know.
Like, hey, dude.
Like, when is it time to tell him that, you know, hey, you were...
I mean, I don't think they were gonna tell him at all. He's already like 40.
I know. And then until his son, you know, had the exact same thing happen to him. And then Josh's story, you know, of his... why he hates pictures being taken of him and what happened to him when he was a kid was kind of, like,
yeah,
nuts.
and then it like flips through the pictures.
Yeah, of, like, the woman getting
yeah,
closer and closer
that's
and shit.
freaky, isn't it?
Like, how long did she let that go on
Yeah.
before she was like,
She was like, oh,
what's
who's
this
bitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
It seemed like the mom was kind of, like, oblivious in a way.
yeah.
A little bit. She was a good
she
character,
even,
but, like...
claimed to not believe it at first, so...
Yeah, but how long did she let that go on before she started to believe it? It was like...
I mean, don't you think by, like, the third picture...
I was going to say, by, like,
of
the
your
second or third
son-
picture of seeing a woman
Yeah.
in every picture that I take of my son,
Like,
there's
imagine
probably
me, every time I took a picture of Echo, there was just
a
a
woman.
woman in the back. I'd be like, what the hell?
Who the fuck is this? You
Who
take
is this?
4,000 pictures of your dogs
Yeah.
a day.
Like, I'd be like, oh my god, he'd be screwed.
He
He'd
would
be
be.
screwed.
And then there's the scene about Elise teaching Josh to astral project again. Not that he, you know, didn't know how to do it. He
Yeah.
just repressed it or whatever. That was kind of a cool scene because it was like showing Josh how... It was like riding a bike
Yeah.
in a way.
I still don't think I can ride a bike right now.
Why?
I just...
Haven't tried?
No, I've tried. I don't think I can do it anymore. I think I
Oh,
need to relearn how to ride a bike.
I think you can just get on and do it.
I don't know. I think there's more to it. I think that saying's baloney.
I can get on a bike and then just ride it.
I will fucking challenge you to that. When's the last time you rode a bike?
3 years ago.
Yeah, let's see you ride a bike today, Hayden.
Okay.
Okay.
I have one in the
Let's shake
garage.
on it. We shook.
We shook. And then
Anyway.
there's the scene where he's in the further. That's also another cool scene. Obviously, all these that I wrote
Very
down are cool
freaky,
scenes, but it's
too.
very freaky that, like, there's just people standing around.
Just hanging.
Yeah, just hanging. But the scene where he's in the house and there's that family and, like, the daughter or whatever just
Yeah.
blows their faces with the
Yeah.
shotgun.
Yeah.
Like, what is
Okay.
what is this place? This is literally hell.
Yeah,
Like-
probably.
That's insane.
Yeah, that was insane.
And imagine being Josh, who just learned this great secret from his childhood that he
Mhm.
was nearly possessed when he was a kid,
Yeah.
and then going into the place that that ghost that almost possessed him was from, and seeing that. Like, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably just start to go insane a little bit.
Yeah, I would too.
But I mean, like, that's coming up. We'll talk about it in a minute. And then he finds Dalton and gets chased. So when he finds Dalton in that little, like, Freddy Krueger-esque
Mm-hmm.
place, I can't imagine the fear that kid must have
Oh no.
had.
But imagine the relief when he saw his dad.
Yeah. And then the red-faced demon just licking the window.
Yeah. No. Goodbye.
No, that's creepy.
Goodbye.
That was such a nerve-wracking scene because you thought, oh yay, he's there.
Yeah,
Josh is
He's
there.
got him.
He got him, and then he turns around, and then you're too late. He
Yeah.
saw you already.
Yep.
Nice try, but try next time. But then there's the scene that they're getting chased. I know you hate being chased by things, but that was freaking me out.
Yeah. I had to squint really hard when I watched that.
Because that was one terrifying chase.
Freaky.
And then the demon just crawling on the wall.
Yeah.
Like, the way he was crawling made it look like... I mean, I know it's fake, but, like, it just made it look so, like, animatronic-like.
Yeah.
It was, like, so rigid and, like, it was so creepy. That was a good scene, though. It was definitely
I'm cringing just thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oof.
And they come back.
Yep.
They're all back.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. It's you know, a good ending, right?
Yeah.
Happy ending,
Or so we thought.
or so you think, because he choke slams Elise for that wicked switch ending
Yep.
because he was actually possessed by the woman that tried to possess him all those years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good
you
job.
you got Dalton back, but
took
now you
one
lost
too many pictures of him.
exactly. And then you lost Josh, so now what?
Yeah. Now what do we do?
Now the movie's over. I mean, I know there's multiple, but, like, now what?
Imagine that.
Elise is dead. You're screwed now. What the hell are you gonna
Yeah.
do? How's this
Figure it
gonna work?
out.
No, I did like this movie. It had a very, you know, Conjuring feel to it
Yeah.
because I think it was the same, like, production team and stuff.
It had. I mean, it. I thought it was in the Conjuring world, but apparently they're not connected.
No, they're
Because
not.
he would be.
He would be Ed, but
Ed.
like, it is a really good movie, and it did start its own universe, the Insidious
Yeah.
universe, because there's like 5 or something.
There's a good bit.
There's
and then what
prequels,
else?
sequels, all kinds of stuff.
What movies hooked up with that?
But yeah, but it's all good.
That was a
It
question.
was what?
What movies are like hooked up with that?
Oh, I just know the Insidious movies.
Oh, there's no like.
I don't know of any.
Like, you know, the Conjuring is like Annabelle and then
Yeah.
that. Oh, okay.
But I don't know if Insidious did that or
Okay.
not.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Well, do you have anything before we go into some fear facts here?
Just that this was a creepy one.
Yeah, it's
but a
definitely
really good movie.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
So, for the first fear fact is that this film was shot in 3 weeks. The whole thing,
Oh, wow.
beginning to end, shot in 3 weeks, which is pretty
That's
fast
crazy.
for a movie of like
Mhm.
that caliber.
Yeah.
Because it had great actors in it. It had very good shots.
Yeah.
Really good writing. You would think that
It would. I just.
it would be like
yeah.
a couple months, but 3 weeks.
Gnarly.
Josh's mom's name is Lorraine, and then he goes on to play Ed, Lorraine's husband in The Conjuring.
Yeah.
So it's kind of,
The same.
it's like a flip of the card kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of cool. That was just a more of like a interesting
Yeah.
thing more than a fear fact. But you remember Specs? The guy with the glasses who
Yeah.
he wrote the movie.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yep. It's kind of interesting.
That's pretty cool.
You know who was considered for Josh?
Who?
Brendan Fraser.
Really?
Yeah. I honestly wouldn't have been mad about that.
Mm-mm.
I think they casted perfectly, but I don't think Brendan would have done that bad of a job.
Mm-mm.
He probably would have done really well. This movie made $100 million.
Wow.
The budget was $1.5.
Oh wow.
They made $98.5 million
That's insane.
past their budget.
In 3 weeks. All they had to do was work for 3 weeks.
All they did was work 3 weeks, exactly. I mean, there's obviously the editing and stuff
Yada,
that takes a
yada.
long time, but like the actors, as far as
Yeah.
they're concerned, it took them 3 weeks to make
a
a couple
lot of money.
$100,000.
That's insane.
This is the first film in the Insidious like universe,
Mhm.
but it's actually third in the timeline.
Okay. Yeah. That
So
makes
like
sense. That checks out.
Insidious Chapter 2 is what? The sequel? Or it's a prequel or something. I forget. Anyway, all this is confusing anyway
Yeah.
to talk about it in chronological order, but it's kind of cool to have it as, you know, your first concrete film of your universe, but it's actually the third one into it. And for my final one, during the record scene, you can actually see the boy in the closet. So there's the scene where, you know, she's putting the record
Yeah.
on to play her song.
Mhm.
You can actually see that little boy in the background. He's
They-
actually in the scene before he changes it to Tiptoe through the tulips.
I was gonna say in that whole scene you could see him in
Yeah.
different spots.
Yep.
Which is like very gross.
Yeah.
You know what I
He's just
mean?
watching the whole
She's
time.
like walking around and you're like, he's right there.
He's
You
right
just
there.
Walked right past him.
And literally
And if I
that
would have
is
saw him, I just would have decked him. You know what I mean?
But that's literally what it was. If you don't notice it the first time, now you'll see it if you watch it a second
Yeah.
time. Just look when she's putting a record on that he's actually in the background watching her, and then
Ew.
changes it. So do you have anything you want to say? Last thoughts?
I've always loved this movie. I still do after rewatching it after a few years. I recommend it to anybody to watch. I think it's a good one. I think it's a real good one.
I really
It's
like
real creepy. Don't watch it at night. And don't watch it alone.
I really like the writing. I thought that he did really good, and to be in the movie too was pretty cool. But it was written in a way to be similar but different to Conjuring.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it was written in a way to start a universe, which
Yeah.
was also very cool.
Yeah.
And I also like the way they directed it too, like the shots, like the shot of the red-faced demon behind his head,
Yeah.
and
They had some cool.
the shot through the window
What about
watching
the
the boy
ceiling
dance.
shot?
Yeah, like
We didn't even talk about that.
it was a very well shot movie.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
the
creepy.
directing style was very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Oh, I was gonna give it like an 8.5, 9.
I didn't think it was as good as The Conjuring. I definitely liked it a lot. It was definitely better than a lot.
I really like Insidious.
I
always
actually
liked
like Chapter 2 better.
I
in
don't
my
know. I
opinion.
think this is my favorite one.
Actually, Chapter 2 is the only one I own.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the rest are all on streaming. But I bought it on my Xbox like forever ago.
Yeah, I love the Insidious movies.
I
do.
really, really liked number 2 a
Mhm.
lot.
Well, we'll be doing that whenever.
Yeah, we'll do that eventually too. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about before we head out?
No, that's all I got.
All right, well, I'll read the question for next week.
Okay.
What was the profession of the main heroine in the 1981 werewolf film, The Howling?
Good luck,
So
guys.
don't be Googling
Don't
it.
Google it.
And we will catch you next week with Jennifer's Body.
Heck yeah. That's a good one. Do you like that one?
Yeah,
I
I
love that
haven't seen
movie.
it yet.
Right.
So this will be the first time I'm watching it. I'll give you my first time watch opinion, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So we'll catch you next week with Jennifer's Body.
Thanks for listening. Catch you later.